Hey everyone, it's Steve from stevezanella.com. How are you today? I wanted to come on here and talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about for a little while. It's a very personal subject to me. It's about the years that I lost to drinking. I was, and I guess still am, an alcoholic. Alcohol and drinking was a huge part of my life for the majority of my life. I started drinking. I got drunk for the first time when I was 13 years old. A friend of mine had an older brother who was in high school at the time. They were having a keg party, a bunch of high schoolers, parents gone for the weekend. I took this big plastic cup, filled it up with beer, drank it as quickly as I could. It tasted horrible, and something amazing happened. I didn't have as much anxiety or fear. Things didn't seem to really matter, and it was a great feeling. I had never experienced that before. Growing up in an environment where my parents were constantly fighting and there was a lot of turmoil and hurt feelings, this offered me an escape for the very first time. Alcohol became a crutch for me. I used it for courage. I used it for strength. I used it to help me face things that I didn't think I could face. My social anxiety started to really get bad. I would drink before I would go out to drink. I couldn't get to a bar and be sober. What if I had a panic attack before I caught a buzz? What if I started to feel nervous or anxious? I needed a few drinks to have enough courage to get in the car and go to the bar. And I don't know how many people know what that feels like out there, but it's not a great feeling when you feel so trapped within your own life, within your own body, and within your own mind that you need outside stimulants and chemicals to give you courage. I lacked the ability to go have a drink. There is nothing wrong with social drinking. This is not a video condemning all use of alcohol, having a glass of wine when you come home from work to help unwind. I'm not that person. I can't do it. And I knew for years that I had a problem with drinking, but I couldn't acknowledge it because alcohol was a gateway for me to be able to experience other things in my life that I didn't think I could if I didn't have alcohol in my life. If I couldn't have a drink, how could I socialize with friends? After a few drinks, that anxiety would disappear and I would feel confident. 1 or 2 drinks would turn into 8 or 10 drinks. When everyone else would go home to their families, I would drive to another bar all by myself because I didn't want that feeling to go away. Because I got to that point where I felt good, and so rarely did I ever feel good. And I didn't think I could ever quit because I couldn't picture a life where I didn't have alcohol in it. But as I started to put the pieces of my life back together, as I started to work on other parts, as I started to acknowledge my shortcomings and the parts of my life that I needed to address and deal with and change, and I started taking action to do those things, I started to see a possibility where I could live my life where I didn't have to get drunk to go have fun. This past February marks 5 years since my last drink. I was able to stop drinking because I recognized the negative effects it had on me more than the positive effects. The positive effects were in my mind. I thought alcohol made me confident. I thought it made me have the ability to socialize. I thought it gave me courage to do things that I was afraid to do. I started to ask myself one simple question. And the question was this: how does what's in this glass change this situation? In the past, the answer would be, well, it allows me to go out. It allows me to have fun. It takes the edge off and lets me be myself. What I realize is that I can be myself by choice. I can choose to joke and laugh with friends, whether there's water in my glass or beer or whiskey. It doesn't matter. But it took me a long time to get to that point. You know, I've been on this journey now for over 10 years, it was 5 years of working on myself, of deconstructing my life and going through a lot of painful shit to realize that I was strong enough to do it on my own. To realize I didn't need a drink in my hand to have fun and to be myself. And that people would like me. And that people would still have fun when I was there. I didn't need alcohol for all of those things. And that was it. I said goodbye to the alcohol. I stopped drinking. And I'm a much better man for it. So I'm not saying it's easy. And I'm not saying that everyone should stop drinking right now. But stop and take a look. See what it's like in your life when alcohol comes in, or drugs, or other substances. They create more problems than they solve. So if you think it's something that you want to consider giving up, ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. I was able to do it because I had spent years working on myself to get to a point where I could do it on my own. And you'll never be able to put down the bottle or the pills or the needle if you don't first deal with the emotional pain. My motivation to drink was my fear. And until I dealt with the fear in my life, I couldn't adequately deal with the alcohol. But I've done both, and I'm proud of that. These battles, I'm not the only one fighting them. And we have to stick together and help each other out. And I hope this video does that for someone out there. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Was this beneficial? Did you like it? Do me a favor in the comments section. Share what you think, share what you've been through. I'd love to hear from you. All right, that's it from me. Till we talk again, and we will talk again, I hope you have an amazing day.